So now that we know how to create that list of exact ratios, we can go about answering these questions. Express the following in exact form. So the first one is sec 45. Well, for all of these, we're going to need our triangles, so let's quickly draw them. So it's important you remember how to draw these. I know one triangle is isosceles. It's got a 45-degree angle with sides 1 and 1. The other triangle is equilateral with side lengths 2, and we break that down further. So now that we have our triangles, we can answer the questions. For the first one, we have sec 45. Well, if you remember the inverse trigonometry video that we did, that C there on that third letter of sec, we can use that as a little trick to find out what that means. It's the inverse of cos. So really what we have here is 1 over cos 45, or we'll just invert the answer to cos 45. So cos 45 equals 1 over the square root of 2. So therefore sec 45 is the inverse of that. We're going to just turn that upside down. So it's really just the square root of 2 over 1, or we can call that the square root of 2. For question 2, we have 2 times sec 30. So once again, we're using the inverse of cos there. So we have 2 times the inverse of cos 30. Well, cos 30 is going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so root 3 over 2. But we're flipping that upside down. We're getting the inverse, so it's 2 over root 3. So we have 2 times 2 all over root 3. So it's 4 over root 3 is your answer. For question 3, we have 3 times tan 60, and then we're adding 1 to that. So 3 times tan 60. Tan 60 is the opposite over the adjacent. That's going to be root 3 over 1. So we have 3 times the square root of 3. I'm not going to place over 1 because there's no need, but we have plus 1 on the end of that over here. So 3 times root 3 is 3 root 3 plus 1 is your answer there. For question 4, we have tan 45 times tan 60 divided by cot 45. Well, tan 45, if we look at 45 degrees here, the opposite over the adjacent is 1 on 1, so it's just 1. So we have 1 times tan 60. Tan 60 is square root of 3 over 1, so it's just the square root of 3. And cot 45, well, cot 45 is the inverse of tan 45. We saw that that was 1, so we're inverting 1. We just get 1 again. So it's 1 times root 3 all over 1. So really our answer is just root 3. For question 5, it says a 2-meter long ladder is placed against a wall at an angle of elevation of 45 degrees. How far from the wall is the foot of the ladder? We'll draw a picture so we can see what it's asking for. So I've put the ladder in pink. We're going to insert 45 degrees right here. That's the angle of elevation from the floor. We know that the ladder is 2 meters long, so I can put 2 meters right there. And we need to find how far from the wall is the foot of the ladder. So there's the foot of the ladder. Here's the wall. So it's asking us how far is this distance between these 2 points from there to there. Now if you think back to the way you normally answer these questions, we look at the 45 degrees, we have adjacent over hypotenuse, so we're going to use cos 45 or cosine 45 is equal to x over 2. We multiply both sides by 2 so we can make x the subject. So we have 2 times cos 45 just equals x. And if we enter this into our calculator, what we'd get is 2 times cos 45, or 1.4, approximately 1.4 meters. So our answer here would be 1.4 meters from the wall, but we need to place this into exact form. So what we need to do is go back to this 2 times cos 45 and replace the cos 45 with one of our exact ratios. So 2 times cos 45, well, it's going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse, so 1 over root 2. So 1 over root 2 will give us our x value. Now 2 times 1 over root 2, that's going to give you 2 over root 2. And if you remember from our surds videos, the number 2 can be expressed like this. The square root of 2 times the square root of 2. The square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the number 2. And we're dividing that all by the square root of 2. And we cancel these out. And we're left with just 1 square root of 2. And that's meters for our distance. Now once again, if you enter the square root of 2 into your calculator, you'll also get 1.4 meters. So you can see that these relate directly, but this is the exact answer.